Yo, Armando Baker here.
It's Luke May.
This is Tyler Hansbrough.
University of North Carolina.
It's North Carolina.
I just want to shout out my boy JBear_YT.
JBear_YT.
It's Carolina family, baby.
Go Heels.
Go Heels.
What's up, boys? Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm back with week 4 of the college football basketball rankings. Yes, I realized I missed last week. It was just so hard to get it up. But anyways, we are back this week, and we have the top 25. A lot of movement this week since it's been 2 weeks. A lot of top teams lost. So there's some crazy movement in here, which you guys will see very shortly. So let's get right into it. Starting with number 25, we have the LSU Tigers. LSU currently at 7-0. They are looking really, really good. SEC might just be the best conference in college basketball this year. ACC looks absolutely atrocious. It's really bad. But anyways, yeah, LSU looks really, really good right now. Haven't played the toughest competition yet, but they look good. Number 24, we have BYU. Now, BYU, I don't exactly see it with BYU. Like they've played some surprisingly tough games in like Oregon and Utah, but Oregon's been really bad so far, and I don't know. The way they play doesn't like appeal to me. I think they are a good team. I'm not gonna like doubt them or anything, but for me, I could see them going out of these rankings. But right now, based on how they've played so far, they're got to be here at 24. At number 23, we have USC. We have the Trojans right here out of the Pac-12. They look good. I thought they'd be pretty good this year. They got the Moby brother that's still there. Was it Isaac Moby, I believe? I think so. But yeah, they played really good so far. Again, not the toughest of competition yet, but yes. Anyways, also, Carolina, yes, is not ranked. I had to move them out just barely. I mean, we lost to 2 top, like, 15-ish teams, but had to move them out. Number 22, we have Florida, who, speaking of schedule, I've had a pretty tough one so far. And that's why they're in this rankings. They've had a fairly tough schedule, but they've prevailed, and they've played like a really good basketball team so far. They're currently 6-0. They have wins over a decent, I think, Ohio State team, although I think they're definitely overrated. A good Florida State team as well. I'm really impressed with Florida. Number 21, we have the Yukon Huskies. Had a thriller of a game against Auburn about, what was it, like a week ago. That was a fantastic, fantastic game. Did suffer a loss to Michigan State, but do have that win over Auburn that helps them out there. Yukon is really good this year. Number 20, we have not Michigan State. What am I saying? Mississippi State. My boy Garrison Brooks is on Mississippi State. So far, they're doing pretty well this season. Only 1 loss on the schedule. Haven't played too tough a schedule. They did lose to Louisville. But they look pretty good in all the other games, and I have confidence in this team. I think they beat a pretty good Richmond team as well. Anyways, on to number 19. We have the Illinois Fighting Illini out of the Big Ten. Haven't been impressed with them that much so far. Now that, goodness. I don't know why I can't think, but, shoot. Now that Kofi Coburn, that's his name. Now that he's back and playing again, they'll obviously perform better than they have so far. He just dropped like 30 the other day. He was on fire. Kofi Coburn's a really good player, and this team pretty much rides with him, is what it's looking like. Number 18, we have the Michigan Wolverines. They've had several tough losses. They lost to good teams, don't get me wrong, but they just haven't looked like the top caliber team that we thought they were necessarily going into the season. Obviously, they do have Hunter Dickinson, who's a really good player. Caleb Houston, a really talented freshman, and a good lineup, but they just haven't been playing of what they need to so far. And they got a big game against Carolina coming up this week, so really excited for that one. Number 17, we have Arizona. Arizona is currently 6-0 as well, with a big win against a fairly good Michigan team. So that's why they're here at 17. 16, we have the Indiana Hoosiers, who are also 6-0 on the season, looking really good. What's his name? Goodness. Yeah, Trace Jackson Davis is really, really good. He just dropped like 40 the other day. So, yeah, he had a great performance. They're here at 16. Number 15, we have the Houston Cougars. Now, earlier in the season, I wasn't really sold on Houston, but they've played really good. They're sitting at 5-1 currently. So, I still don't think they'll be able to make a tournament run like they did last year necessarily. But they beat up on Oregon, which who can't beat up on Oregon right now, and same thing with Virginia, but I think they're an all-right team. Number 14, we have Memphis. They did suffer their first loss of the season a couple of days back, and now they are 5-1. But they got such a talented roster, and they beat a pretty good Virginia Tech team, I think, as well. Number 13, the Auburn Tigers. Walker Kessler is starting to find his footing with the Tigers, the former Tar Heel. And, man, Auburn looks good. They're 5-1. Only loss being to that really good Yukon team. But outside of that, they've looked good in all their games. Beat Syracuse, beat Loyola, Chicago. So, yeah, they're looking really good this year as well. Number 12, another team I wasn't too high on coming into the season. But so far, so good for this team. It's the Arkansas Razorbacks. They're currently sitting at 6-0. Again, not the greatest teams they've been playing so far. I think they beat a pretty good Cincinnati team so far this year. But, I mean, I wasn't expecting this level of play, and they've played pretty good so far. Do have, once they get into conference play, they'll have more tests, and we'll really see. But right now, they're here at 12. Number 11, we have Alabama. And Alabama wasn't in the same range like last week. I think they might have moved down one spot. But they did have an unfortunate loss to Iona on Thanksgiving, which hurt them. But they bounced back with two pretty good wins against Miami and Drake. And obviously, they have a really talented roster. They're going up against Gonzaga next week, so that's a tough test for them. But I love the way Nate coaches as well. This is going to be a good team down the stretch. Number 10 is Tennessee. And let me just send out a full disclaimer right now. Tennessee is not a top 10 team in the nation. Trust me on that. I promise they are not. But they have some big wins. They did get beat down a little bit by Villanova. But they beat Carolina. A lot of teams in front of them lost, so I had to move them up. So right here, they're at 10. Although I obviously don't think they're a top 10 team. Number 9, speaking of Villanova, we have the Villanova Wildcats. They have 2 losses, obviously. They lost two top 5 teams, though, in Purdue and the other one, UCLA. So they've lost to some really, really good teams. But I don't know if their small ball type lineup is going to be good for the rest of the season for them. Colin Gillespie's been playing pretty well, but really hasn't been the prettiest thing for Villanova so far. Number 8, we have Kentucky. Kentucky looks good, bro. Kentucky looks like their usual self. Last year, meant nothing to them, basically. They have the loss against Duke in the opener, in which they were competitive in, and since then, they've been dominant. They haven't played any competition since then, but they've been good in who they have played, so gotta give them credit for it. Number 7, we have the Texas Longhorns, coached by Chris Beard. They haven't played many games so far. They're only 4-1. Do have a loss to, obviously, number 1 Gonzaga, in which they didn't look that clean, but since then, they've had some dominant victories, so they're here at 7 for me right now. Number 6 is Kansas. Really disappointing loss for Kansas against Dayton. Stuff like that happens, but they did beat Iona, an Iona team that was able to upset Alabama. So, obviously, they're still a really good team. They got the opening win against Michigan State. That's a good win for them as well. And, obviously, their roster is fantastic. It'll be just fine for the Kansas Jayhawks, but this week they are at 6. Number 5, we have UCLA, who's possibly a top 3 team in the nation. Obviously, talent-wise, they're fantastic. Only lost still big against Gonzaga, but I moved them down one extra spot just because something that happens on a little bit later. But Villanova, they got a big win against them and the loss to Gonzaga, which they didn't look very good. So they're right here at 5 for me. Number 4, we have the Baylor Bears, who haven't played the grades of competition yet, but they are still the defending national champions. Got to give them credit for it. And I guess they played an all right Michigan State team, and I don't really know what else, but Baylor Bears, they are the champions, so I got to give them credit. They're here at 4. Number 3 is going to be Gonzaga. They lost to Duke. Obviously, and since you guys know that Duke hasn't came up yet, they are in, yes, Duke is in the top 2. It really pains me, guys. Duke, anyways. Gonzaga did have the loss to Duke. They look really good, though. Obviously, Gonzaga is a top 3 team. There's just no doubt about it. But since the other teams above them haven't lost just yet, I had to have them here at 3. And, of course, number 2 is the Duke Blue Devils. Oh, goodness. Boys, Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, that was a rough day for Tar Heel fans. We lost that just atrocious game to NC State. And then Duke wins against the number 1 team in the nation. It was bad. It just was bad. But obviously, I don't want to say I expected this to happen, but I did really know that Duke was a good team. But we'll see how they do the rest of the season. But number 1 is the Purdue Boilermakers. I think the top team in the nation right now. Yes, they don't have a win against the number 1 team in the nation, but they have a good win against Villanova and a good win against UNC as well. And Jaden Ivey looks like a star. What's the giant center's name? Zach Edey, that's his name. He looks like a star as well. Travion Williams has been good off the bench for them. They have the foreign guard who just can light it up if he gets hot. I think Purdue is a fantastic team. And yeah, they're number 1 in the nation right now. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below about these rankings. Please like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do all that YouTube stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.